We're going to take the image that we have in our head of a capital letter M, and we're going to stretch out that letter M and make it go from point to point. We're going to go up and then down and then up again and then down again, trying to get this to be as symmetrical as possible. And you may need to go back and redraw in order to get it right. Then we're going to put in another letter M. One more time, this time a little bit more stretched out. And now we've completed our top lip. Now the bottom lip can be simply a stretched out U shape, or it could have a little bit more of a suggestion of form, maybe drooping a little bit on the left or right. I'm going to just go for a symmetrical stretched out U shape. And you can see that we have something that really has some form to it. It doesn't look formless at all. Next thing we need to do is we need to narrow the face. We know that this is the widest point of the head rather, and so we're going to start here. If you feel the sides of your face, you will notice that your face goes in a little bit by the temple, it comes out by the cheekbone, it goes in by the mouth, and then it comes out by the jaw. Be aware that we're about to draw something which is slightly wrong, but I'm doing it for a good reason, and we'll catch up with that problem later. Now going to take this line and start bringing it in. Now I have to come out a little bit, but not too much, because remember, that is the widest point of the skull, so I can't come too far out. Now I'm coming in again for the mouth, and then out near the jaw, and there we go. Now I'm going to try and do the same thing on the left. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that and not make this person look asymmetrical or not the same on both sides. I'm now going to take my pencil and erase what was my egg shape. You can do the same thing if your egg shape wound up being smaller than your outside eye length, simply by adding some room to make the top of the head wider and then bring it into that point. The mark remains the same, you just need to make the top of the head a little bit larger. I'm now taking away what was my egg shape. And you can see that what I have is fairly human looking. All right? At this point, you can take a look and correct any inconsistencies, but I'm just going to leave this the way it is so that I can move on. I'm now going to put in some 15-degree angles left and right, and 15-degree angle will help me to put in the ears. Now, as we get older, our ears droop, so you really need to look at what a person looks like as they are, as you are drawing them, rather. Also, if you wear heavy earrings, that can pull your ears down. So this is something you really have to look at. Our ears are going to start at about the A line. We're going to come up about to the top of where the eye orbits were, and then we're going to come down to the B line or slightly lower. All right, and keep it wide and then go narrow fairly quickly. And we're trying to get it to look basically symmetrical, which I believe I was able to accomplish. If not, of course, you're free to erase and put it in the right way. The next thing we need to do is put in some hair. Now remember, the hair does come up above the skull in all cases. So when we put in the hair does need to come up. And then you can put in whatever hairstyle you think would be appropriate for your model. You decide. Now, if you feel up the sides of your neck, you will see that your fingers stop at the ears. So let's put in 2 lines straight down from the ears. All right. Now I see that I've come out some here, and I don't wish to give him as wide a neck. So I am going to straighten that out just a little bit. All right, now the part that I told you I was doing wrong on purpose. If you take a look in the mirror, you will see that you actually cannot see where the neck intersects the ear. And that's because, in reality, the jaw overlaps that line. The reason why I did this way is to show you where the neck goes. There's nothing random about where the neck is. If I had had you make the jaw the right size and asked you to put in the lines, it might have wound up anywhere on this line, and then you would have had the neck in the wrong place. So at this point, if we erase this area and simply take this line and overlap the neckline, you will see that it does in fact look more human and more correct. Two things. If you decide to put in the shoulders, you should know that the shoulder ends will measure 2 head lengths. And this is a head length. From the bottom of the chin to the top of the skull equals 1 head length. If you take that and turn it on its side and repeat it twice, you will find that that gives you the dimensions of the shoulders. The other thing that I didn't mention, but for some of you who are perfectionists, you would probably like to know this. If you measure from the bridge of the nose to the outer point of the eye length, from here to here, turn that measurement on its side and repeat it 3 times, that should also give you 1 head length. Before I go, here, if we added a light source, we could then determine where our light areas would be. Obviously, anything that sticks out would get lighter. Under here, of course, would be dark. Under the nose would be dark, and any area that you don't know, you might have to just look at yourself in the mirror. Of course, if the light source is moved elsewhere, then you would have to change the positioning of these light and dark areas. Just one more little bit of information that you might find helpful. For those of you who did not realize that this was the case, this area right here indicates the top surface of the nose. In fact, if you feel your own face, you'll notice that this area melts into the eye orbits. So, if you like, you can join this area, creating this more normal appearance. Thank you so much for joining me for this lecture on human frontal facial proportions. Hope you had a good time.